And last week, as we prepared to start the new school year, our primary school teachers participated in a literacy workshop. And I believe that it would have been good for us if Shanda had been there to help us to observe some of the skills and some of the creativity which can be brought to bear as we engage in preparation for the new school year. Last year, in all our primary schools, grades 1 to 6, we exposed our students to reading assessment to determine their functional levels of reading, and the level of literacy that we observed among our primary school children was heartening. This is just one of the indications that the ministry takes as a critical mandate the development of proficient literacy skills among all of our primary school students in particular. And I'm of the view that improved literacy skills would be an accessory to improved understanding in the disciplines of mathematics, social and physical sciences, and natural sciences, and the arts, and in fact in all disciplines of human endeavor. Higher levels of literacy will reduce academic frustration among our high school students and students in general, and would assist us in the reduction of our dropout rates. The mission of the Ministry of Education states that we wish to provide a comprehensive course of lifelong education which will enable individuals to develop and achieve their full potential, allowing them to make meaningful contributions to our national development. Therefore, I was extremely pleased that the focus of today's celebration is to highlight the role of literacy in the empowerment of women. Women nurture and influence the children of our nation. Women and mothers are the first teachers of our young people. They lay the foundation that the Ministry of Education and other institutions, through its network or their networks of primary schools, secondary schools, and colleges, can later build upon. If women are more literate, if they can read and write better, if they can express themselves well or better, and if they can manage the money and other resources better, they would feel better about themselves, they would feel a greater sense of empowerment, they would feel that they have a greater sense of power to master their own affairs, and they would be empowered to exert great authority and control over their own lives. And our children, whom they nurture and teach, would be better for it. There has always been greater focus on the literacy and education generally of women and girls, precisely for some of the reasons I've mentioned above. But it is also the fact that we have put greater emphasis and highlighted the literacy of women and girls because the extent to which they are empowered through improved literacy would be, I believe, resulting in a concomitant and cascading empowerment of all our nation's people, including boys and girls, because of the critical role they play in the nurturing of these people in our community. There is, however, another yet related reason why there is an intense focus on women with regard to the subject of literacy. All over the world, it has been recognized that women and their children are particularly vulnerable to the scourge of poverty. Women raising children generally have fewer occupational options in, for example, how far they can go in search of work or where they can work, how long they can be away from their homes and their children, and how consistently they are able to work, given the need for them to pay attention to the health and general welfare of their families. These are all constraints to a woman's ability to earn, to work. Her limited ability to earn yields a direct correlation to her vulnerability to poverty, abuse, and backwardness. These conditions will naturally extend to her children, and the homes resulting from these vulnerabilities are the breeding ground for the undereducated in our society, our children who roam the streets without a sense of direction, and who can easily be swallowed up in the vicious cycle of underemployment, poverty, abuse, and violence. Literacy, therefore, provides a gateway to empowerment, opportunity, employment, and mastery of a woman's home and her destiny. I therefore want to urge all women in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to empower themselves, to ensure that they acquire or improve their basic and higher order literacy skills, to be empowered by the pursuit of education. In Scotland, literacy has been deemed to be the ability to read and write and use numeracy to handle information, to express ideas and opinions, and to make decisions and solve problems as family members, workers, citizens, and lifelong learners. And I would want to adopt that as a definition for for literacy here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Many of us have been raised by single mothers, strong women who were determined that we should take advantage of our own schooling and education, even as many of them didn't have the opportunity to do so. And they wanted their children to be empowered, to be more literate, to be able to take on the challenges of life, and to be able to have a sense of purpose and a way of directing their own affairs as individuals in the wider society. I therefore want to encourage all women, whatever their age, but particularly because of their circumstances, to take time to improve on their own education and literacy. We encourage them to try new things, to learn to use the computer, to do some mathematics, some French, to become better at speaking, expressing themselves, expressing their ideas and opinions more clearly and with more authority. I want to say that no one is too old to learn. I would like to urge all women and girls to take advantage of the opportunities offered here at the college in our ACE program, that is our Adult and Continuing Education program. I want to encourage you to participate in the short courses. I want you to attempt the CSEC O-level examinations if those are going to help you to make the progress that you want to make for yourselves and your families. I want to encourage you to use all these media, all of these vehicles to improve your own literacy and your own education generally. Improved education and literacy can transform the lives of women, families, and communities. And today, as we highlight the accomplishments of our local writers and the literacy skills of our educators, I urge women from the grassroots to become involved and empower themselves and help to empower others around them. I call on community groups and community-spirited persons to introduce programs or start classes to make women and girls from our communities more literate and better educated, and to help them to be more in control of their own destiny. I know that government has introduced programs to utilize our community centers for the education of all our people. The Ministry of Social Development has a number of training programs for women. I want you to learn about them and explore them. In closing, finally, I want to officially declare the 2010 Literacy Day exhibition at the CFB College open. And I want to encourage all persons here and everywhere to spend some time to come here to the CFB College and to take part in what's happening here at the exhibition. I trust that as you view, as you interact, you will be inspired to become more literate or to become involved in activities aimed at helping our women and young people generally to become more literate and more empowered. Let me thank you very much for listening.